Many enter. Only one rises. One throne. One champion. Pinehurst is the destination. It's the championship journey.
There is a house, give me gold.
Welcome to the crown.
Give me gold.
Give me golf. The crown.
Pinehurst bound.
All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Kenny Riley reporting live from the Gimme Golf Clubhouse here in St. Charles, and I am here to bring you another round of matches of The Crown. To give you a little brief overview, The Crown is a 128-person bracket challenge. Started out with over 175 contestants to qualify. We are in our last set of matches for the 128 down to the 64. The match that we have starting off today is Mr. Mike Noel and Paul Zyke. We're going to go ahead and get ready for our ceremonial handshake. Friends now and mortal enemies now. Bandon Dunes, starting off on the first tee box. Pretty standard day for Bandon Dunes. Mr. Noel in the tee box first. All right, Mike Noel with a pounded drive up the right-hand side, drawing back into the perfect position. Mr. Mike Noel has earned a name as the swashbuckler, but the swing that he just put on display there is anything but. It was pretty perfect. Well done for Mr. Noel. Mr. Zyke on the tee. All right, Paul with a healthy shot up the right side is going to find a little bit of that right-hand rough, but he's going to have a pretty good look at the pin. Paul considering his options here, 154 yards out. Again, coming out of probably a knee-high rough situation, uphill, but plenty of green behind this pin at number one. All right, healthy iron swing here from Paul. It's on a good line. See if it can jump. All right, coming out of that right-hand rough, has taken a little bit of power off, but he is right next to the green in a great spot. A little shake off there from Paul, leaving himself in good position, but see what Mr. Noel has from here from 100 yards out. All right. Pretty vicious wedge here up to the right side, but does find the green. Mr. Noel safely in for his par here at number one, Bandon Dunes. Paul's looking at it, just 28 yards here for his approach. Pin is located in the front part of this green. Pretty severe false front. Needs to make sure he gets the ball to, or at least past the pin would be the play. All right, pretty good looking wedge just to the front. All right, does have an ability here with him being off the green. He can hold us for a tie here at number one. Looks pretty good. Does it have the legs? Ooh, just short a very good effort there from Paul. And we have our first hole completed with Mr. Noel taking a 1-up after 1. Okay. All right, Noel after that snag after the first hole, left with a par 3 measuring 192 yards uphill, probably half a club or a full club. All right. A little heavy iron, but does escape anything short trouble. Settling back in, he's going to have a very good look to get this ball up and on. All right, we are going to be moving over to our Bay 2 matchup, Mr. James Konsky and Doug Nicholson. All right, this matchup is Mr. Doug Nicholson. Dr. Doug does have a pop on number 5. Even Steven after that. Mr. Konsky over the ball, number 1. Electing go driver off the deck on the first hole. 158 miles an hour ball speed. Who needs a tee when you can hit it as good as that? No problem. Coming out with all the crazies. DOD King. Mr. Konsky. Okay, Doug. Grabbing the big dog here. He's played a couple of practice rounds here at Bandon Dunes. He's going to see if he's going to have the ability to take on the club champ, Mr. Konsky. All right, Doug in a very safe and able spot here, center of the fairway. Going to love it. Rolling out over 200 yards. Going to give him a pretty solid approach shot coming into the first green. All right, Doug back to the bag, looking at his assortment of weapons to see what he's going to take from 171 yards, probably playing closer to 185, 190. Again, if you see in the bottom left-hand portion of your screen, you'll see the elevation is 22 feet up. Pretty flat lie, which is hard to do here in the fairways of Bandon Dunes. Doug over the ball. Anything on the green is a huge, huge push in this match play format. A pretty solid shot headed towards the right side of the green. He's got enough distance if it's just gonna... Oh, he does. Gets the ball to the pin on the right side, safely on for par, causing a bit of a pressure move here for Mr. Konsky to see if he can score his par, go for that circle for the win here at number 1. Konsky's looking at 125 yards, probably nothing more than a sand wedge or maybe a gap wedge, but again, this match play pressure is real. It is a palatable energy here at the clubhouse. He takes his ball left side, fading it back in. Looks so darn good. And comes up just a touch short of that circle. Both players recording the par. No blood on hole number 1. All right, Konsky had the honors on the first hole. Does retain the honors here at the number 2. 187 yards here at the par 3, number 2. My guess is this is probably a 7-iron. Again, slightly uphill. All right, finesse swing here from the Konsky. Headed left and coming back right on a pretty solid line. Will it have enough? And that false front does kick him back about 15 yards, but it's going to have a wedge at his hands. But again, this is the match play beauty, is that Mr. Doug, Dr. Doug, can go ahead and aim for the very large green up there. And as long as he places one on the surface, he's in for that par, causing Mr. Konsky to scramble to get one inside the circle. All right. I know Doug is a player, longtime member. Opted for some fairway metal. Like to play. Okay, Doug is off. Headed right. Needs to, okay, does bypass some of the, ooh, he does find himself in the lashes of the bunker here right at the green. As you can see again in that lower left-hand corner, his lie is going to be pretty much straight up and down. So this ball is going to want to jump left hard. All right, ball first contact is what we need, and it does hit the berm, brings him back into the front edge of this bunker. Silver lining here, he does have a flat lie out of the sand, about 35 yards to the hole. Just got to keep his nerves here. Okay. So Doug is struggling out of this greenside bunker for his 4th shot, is electing to keep the same weapon. He does get a clean wedge on that. Just left center of the green, but does miss the gimme circle, so that will be a 6 for this hole for Doug. Again, in match play, it's not anything about the score. It's about playing your opponent. So Mr. Konsky's second shot here, 24 yards off the front skirt of this green. Really just needs to get it on the green. All right, feat is accomplished. Mr. Konsky snags that one here from a frustrating hole for Mr. Doug here at number 2. Having him pull one up. Big thank you to Pinehurst Resorts and the Pinehurst family. The basis of this tournament was to play the Pinehurst number 2 as the championship match, and they've been gracious enough to up the ante and offer the winner of the crown a full paid foursome to actually play Pinehurst number 2 in with their buddies. It's pretty incredible, but thank you to them. We're going to go into a double screen for your viewing pleasure here. So again, with the Crown Match Play event, it's a 2-on-2 elimination. So after these rounds of matches, we will move from that 128-person list down to 64, and thus to 32, on and on. Going to be testing some new streaming things. Obviously, as you guys see here, double screens, active chat. I'm really excited about the hard work that Mr. Ben Daniel and Kyle Walton have been putting into this production. And hopefully you guys enjoy the viewing pleasure for the matches here at Bandon Dunes and those to come. All right, going to focus on Bay 1, Mr. Mike Noel. Driver 375 yards here, number 4. All right, showcasing some ball speed, is headed to the left side of the fairway, but with this pin placement, he's going to have plenty of room. Got a great look, playing it safe. All right, we're going to move over to Bay 2. Mr. Doug, 293 yards out on the third. Same fairway metal. See if we can square this thing up and put it in a good position. All right, Doug headed to the left side of the fairway. Needs to get down. Okay, some of the thicker rough here at Bandon Dunes. This stuff is no joke. All right, looking at Mr. Konsky's tee shot. He has found the same rough on the adjacent side of this fairway. Really, I don't know how well he's going to be able to get out of this. It's kind of your choice if you got to take your medicine. I think that it may have something to do with his opponent being in the same precarious spot, but he is electing a fairway wood out of here to blast it out of here. As you can see, all that effort is just eaten alive out of that native vegetation. So both players showing some frustration here, but all right, again, Mr. Konsky's third shot is still in the same monster rough over here, so they probably have got to alter their plan and kind of take their medicine, get it back into a playable area. Again, this is a net match play, so every person's TrackMan handicap is put into play, so there is awarded holes based on their handicap. All right, Mr. Konsky does escape some of the thick rough there. All right, Mr. Konsky's fifth shot here from 165 yards. All right, high flying up the left. It's going to need to stay short of this bunker. Okay, just right on the edge, but it's going to be able to put a club on it, no problem. So as Doug has seen the struggles with James's attempt to get out of this rough, I have to assume that he's going to have to bite on the side of getting it out into play and trying to get this ball in the green as fast as possible. 130 yards for Doug. It does get the ball airborne. That's a good sign. All right. It's a smart play. Not about thinking about getting it close to the pin, but just getting it so he can get another club on it and put it close. All right, just received a note here that Mr. Kyle Walton himself is going to be joining the broadcast, so everybody buckle up.
Happy to be here, Kenny.
I tell you what, the matches today are obviously we've got one today and tomorrow are the last days for our matches to be able to get through the 128. Both Kyle and I do play tomorrow, so we're all anxiously waiting to get onto the tee box, but we're going to focus in here on Mr. Konsky in Bay 2, 36 yards after a pretty struggle-filled hole, but does seem to get a clean wedge there and just short of the gimme circle.
Meanwhile, we got Mr. Noel teeing
All
off
right,
on
so
5.
So Mr. Konsky does card a triple there, so Mr. Nicholson does grab one back, bringing this match to all square. We're going to move over on your other side of your screen for Mr. Paul Zeich, finding the correct measurement of tee of his preference. And again, you know, the crown A big thank you to Pinehurst again. It's pretty incredible the gift that they've given the contestants here for this. Everybody obviously eager to get to that Pinehurst #2 trip. It's a very dreamy place. Kyle, I know you've played it, correct?
I have. A lot of history on #2.
Bunch of folks piling in here to see the matches happening in real time. All right, after some woodworking efforts, Mr. Zyke has found a tee that he likes. Slightly taller, but not too tall, so just right, a little Goldilocks situation here, but a little club toss here in Bay 1. After the efforts to find the right tee, he does find himself left of the fairway. Can be able to play it from there, so he might be able to take a look to see if he can get a shot out of there. But while he's considering his options, we'll go over to see Mr. Doug here at #4, 167 yards out, downhill. Beautiful backdrop here. Doug likes to draw his irons, but this one is just subtly fading off. See if it's going to give him a bump. And it does. See if it can just stay for a second. And a great shot from Doug Nicholson. Well done, sir. Okay. So, Mr. Konsky coming from the right side of this fairway. 156 yards. Downhill about 13 feet. Wind is going to be just subtly off the right-hand side, giving him a little help. All right, starting left to right. Fading back into a pretty promising spot. Does he? Oh, those greens are a big potato chip, as my good buddy Andrew Shoup would say, or a crumpled up piece of paper. It's anything but flat out here in Bandon Dunes. So Mr. Konsky does miss the green left, but has the ability to hold this out or at least get it inside that circle to push this hole. All right, Konsky with the 19-yard pitch shot here. All right, aggressive enough to try to get in the circle, but does make it on the green. So Mr. Konsky cards a bogey there. Doug takes another one back. So Doug is one up. We're staying here on #2. All right, we're going to visit match 1. Paul Zyke coming out of a hairy lie, but with a great shot. See if it does scamper on that. All right, finds himself just on the front side of that green. All right, Mike Noel. Third shot, left side bunker. Or, I'm sorry, right side bunker. It's going to be a cute little shot here. Kind of taking a look at the information and all the data that's showing what this green's going to be doing once his ball arrives. And a nice little soft-handed wedge there from Mike Noel. And does race across the green and finds himself on the fringe. Mike Noel currently leading two up here at the 5th hole. And we're going to go over to the secondary match. Mr. Doug and Mr. James Konsky on hole 5, where Mr. Doug does have a pop and one extra bullet on this hole. All right, Doug stalking this pin placement here, 169 yards out, relatively flat as far as elevation's concerned. Just a touch uphill. Slight breeze in the face. Right, he has unsheathed his weapon of choice here. All right, a couple test clicks there for Mr. Doug. Settling in. All right, sounded like pretty clean contact. Headed to the left side. See if he's got a bump here. Give him a nudge. All right, does find himself. Had enough club for sure. Gonna have a interesting chip there just from off the green left side. All right. Mr. Konsky from similar yardage. 156 yards. Oh. All right, a popular side of the green here at number 5 is left. Both players going to have wedge in hand to kind of duke this out. Kind of going back, let's move over to Bay 1. A big pillow fight over here on the 5th hole for Mr. Noel and Mr. Zyke, but it was a push after all, and match play, they can auto-delete that one out of their brains and get ready to play number 6. 166 yards, straight into the fan. All right, Noel with a crisp iron shot, headed to the right, trying to draw it back. It's looking pretty darn good. And stays. It's still moving, folks. And it finds a root. Sits pretty good leave there. Everybody was kind of clinched up there in all of the ways, but Mr. Paul Zyke here to give it his best swing. 166 yards again, about probably 2 clubs. Right. All right, a quick wrap up. Bay 2, both players do record a par there at hole number 5, so it does look like Doug's pop provides some safety room there. But again, settling in for Mr. Zyke here in Bay 1. Some visible frustrations here, but does have the ability to see the golf ball. Okay. All right, Paul's looking at about 75 yards here at the par 3. Checking the right spot to make sure he can land this ball and maybe have some luck on his side and find that promise circle. It seems like it was clean contact here for Paul. All right, he is on the green and spinning towards the hole. Great shot, good recovery, good stuff. All right, Mike Noel is left with just 13 yards. Again, I don't know how this ball did not roll all the way down this hill. So he's got less than 30 feet here just to get this thing on the green and tumble towards the hole. right, good soft hands. Did he do it? He holds it out, Mr. Mike Noel. An epic birdie here at the par 3. Why do I have to putt it? You don't have to putt it if you do that. Well done for Mr. Mike Noel. All right, epic show of sportsmanship here. Mr. Zyke does go ahead and give a... We've got some embellishments here for Mr. Noel. All right, we're moving on. We're going to go to Bay 2 and check out where Mr. Konsky is here at the 6th. Greenside bunker here, 17 yards. All right, it gets a good amount of club on it, and it is absolutely perfect. Judged very well for Mr. Konsky. All right. Fantastic. Both players do record that par, so we are moving along. Mr. Doug is up 2 through 6 holes. Gonna zip over back to Mr. Noel, riding high after that birdie. All right, number 7. About a 150-yard wide fairway. Thank goodness he hits it. The adrenaline after a birdie is real. You know, for those who know, the ABFU is very real. Paul currently 3 down in this matchup against Mike. All right, pretty good contact. Heading up the right side. Well done. Reeling in some of those nerves, getting back to the golf. Match play, baby. All right, we're heading over to Bay 2. Mr. Konsky with the tee shot. Sands tee. 162 miles an hour ball speed and just racing up the center of this fairway. Interesting move. I couldn't do it even if I wanted to do it, if I was able to do it. Big flex to not use the peg, but it seems to be working out just fine for him. All right, Doug, 128 yards out. Uphill about 18 feet. Majority of this green is located left of the pin. All right, Doug settling in. Wind is pretty much non-existent here, so a little swirler going on. Doug making sure that he knows how to swing a golf club with those 2 practice swings. All right, staring it down. Looks like he likes it. Is it enough? Is it enough? Okay, does come up just a touch short, so he's going to have a testy wedge there. All right, both these players looking at pretty much even Stevens as far as what their distance was in. Konsky with the 126 yards, kind of seeing what his opponent had there and obviously where to miss or where not to miss, but... Okay, yes, taking it on the left to right line that we've seen multiple times today. Distance is judged perfect. Very large green, a large farva here. He is secured. Now it's putting his opponent, Mr. Doug, to the test here. Doug's third shot, just 14 yards off the right side of this green. Somewhat short-sighted, so it really just needs to get this thing up and over that front knob and let it just develop towards the pin. Okay, did get a little aggressive with that one. See if it's going to sit for him. And, oh, he engaged the spin. What a wedge from Doug. That's amazing. Both players with a par. No blood. We're heading to hole 8. All right, going to go ahead and visit the Bay 1 group here, just 14 yards off the edge of the screen here. As you can see, those tick marks on the green are giving you the break, and the severity of that break. So those tick marks moving right to left at a pretty vicious state right now is just letting Paul know that this ball is going to be falling right to left. This is played really well. It's played really well. Go for him. Oh, just comes up a touch short. It was absolutely perfect wedge play. Just didn't have enough energy to get inside that circle. All right, both players do record that bogey, so Mr. Noel does remain 3 up through 7 holes. All right, going to go back to the Konsky Dr. Doug matchup. All right, Doug does find the right side of this hole just in that first cut rough. Konsky going on there. Doesn't have to bend down for anything. He doesn't need the tee. He's just rolling his ball into play. And he will be ready to rock. Right, so Mr. Konsky does stay left and hit very hard. There's a crazed lunatic fan getting inside the booth here. Dave Meyer. Everybody knows him. Everybody loves him. All right, Doug's looking at 134 yards. Nothing too crazy as far as the lie. Does classify it as deep rough, but we do have a solid look at that golf ball. The Mayor Lancer. Oh, yeah, I'd love another one, please. The Mayor always taking care of us here at the Loopers Pub at 425 Clark Street. All right, Doug has shushed the crowd. Needs time to focus. A couple more test clicks there for Doug. All right, 134. Dr. Doug. All right. Makes good contact, but that rough does take off a significant amount of power coming out of that ankle high. All right, Konsky's left with a $113. A-plus territory right here. Pin is located right side, middle of this green. There's enough green left of this pin to facilitate all of the Gimme Golf Clubs standing on it at one time. My guess is we're going to see a pretty textbook left to right here. All right, starting on track. Yes, aiming for the big part of that green, and that's the shot right there. Well done for Mr. Konsky. Okay. Settling in, Doug is kind of taking a optical pat down of his lie over here, just couple yards off the fairway, but is in some thicker area, some beautiful native plants here, and he's trying his best not to step on or break any of the stems because that is a rule breaker there. But 32 yards for Doug. Again, tons of real estate behind and left of this flag. All right, does get it out. See if it's going to develop. Okay, safely on the green for Doug. Did what he could. All right, Doug does give one back there to Mr. Konsky. Konsky with the par, Doug with the bogey. Doug is still leading up, 1 up through 8 holes. All right, going to head over to Bay 1 with Mr. Noel, who's on second shot here at par 4, number 8. And both players record the par. Hole number 9. Everybody's excited. A variety of options there at the clubhouse for the turn. Hot take here from another one from Andy Shoup. Supposedly, was just handed a note from our production team that he is stating that the Costco hot dogs have changed. They're not the same. I don't know if there's more nitrates or match meats, pig lips, who knows? But he is saying that those are just not the same. Incredible deal, but maybe not so much the incredible deal for his tummy. But all right, Mr. Noel here at number 9. It's 522 yards, par 5 for them to take a bite out of. What a lovely delivery. Brought to you by Miller Lite and Lance Wilson of Loopers Pub. Thank you very much, sir. All right.
Kenny, how do we handle putting?
Putting inside is very interesting, Kyle. Great question. So putting, if we were to putt these, we'd be here until midnight, and it's not so much the easiest thing to do to putt a 30-foot putt from 8 feet away. So what we do is if each player lands on the green, it is an auto 2-putt. It speeds things up, makes it pretty simple, especially here in match play. You can kind of gauge your ability to dig in, play safe, or get aggressive. All right, Paul Zyke looking, staring this down into the fairway, avoiding any trouble.
And what is that circle? What's a circle that's around the hole?
Yeah, it's trying to dive into all of the data here and on the TrackMan, but that circle that is illuminated is actually measuring 8 feet exactly, and the 2 putts I was just commenting on from the green, if you do reach it inside of that 8-foot gimme circle, you are awarded a 1-putt. So pretty, again, you can get aggressive. If you do land inside that circle, it can even up a matchup pretty quickly, but as we've seen, pretty difficult to do at times. All right, Mike Noel from 345. All right, does get a little thin there, and that rough is just brutal, folks. So, again, I know we were playing on AstroTurf inside, but this TrackMan is an incredible machine, and it will do everything necessary to replicate a real-life condition. So any bit of this rough is much more severe than it may look like for us here, and that ball data will accurately depict that, both good and bad. All right, Paul, it's 343 yards, opting for a fairway wood here just to get into position. All right, a little thin here off the bottom of the club and just spins up and only awarded with a shot that has traveled just about 50 yards. But while he goes and looks at this lab, we're going to move it over to Bay 2 for Mr. Doug. 220 yards out, fairway metal, hole 9. Okay, Doug headed up the right side, and it is drawing. Looks like it's on a fantastic line. All right, well struck shot from Doug. That was a great shot. It's going to give him a nice little handshake of a chip there. That crazed lunatic's back in the booth. I told him to get lost. He's asking me questions. I don't know what to do. Security? All right, Mr. Konsky's looking at 35 yards. A short-sighted pin. As you can see on that secondary screen, bottom right. It's just aiming before that gimme circle, so maybe it'll release. Okay, does hop up and get stuck right on the fringe. The frog's hair, where's Dan Stretch when you need him? The amphibian velvet. I don't know, someone said that the other day. I thought that was pretty clever. I did not sound as good as I thought it did, but here we are. Okay, so Doug's 4th shot, currently 1 up through 8 holes. Again, those tick marks showing that this ball will fall hard right once on the green. Doug did display the ability to get some spin on these touchy wedges, which is a feat in and of itself, but let's see if he can go 2 for 2 here. All right, the wedge is off. Okay, does just miss the gimme circle, but Doug's on for a 6. And Mr. Konsky's 4th shot here can elect to putt this, which is exactly what he's doing. So if you pay attention to this matchup, he is going to be putting this because at 8 yards away, probably have a little bit more control with the flat stick than you do with the wedge. A pretty good look here. If it needs to stay. Oh, and it just falls out of the gimme circle for James. Had a chance to take one back there, and unfortunately, no blood. Doug remains 1 up through 9 holes. All right, slight intermission for these gentlemen to go get a package of M&Ms or Skittles and a transfusion from the bartender. We're going to move it over to bay number 1, where Paul Zykes left with 23 yards. Short-sided chip here, just from what we saw from the last group. All of these tick marks are coming back at him. All right, little bellied wedge here. Can it do it? Okay, some visual cues here that he is not happy with the result of that, but he is on the green. All right, Zyke does card the double bogey. Mr. Noel does have the bogey. Noel up in this match. 4 up through 9. All right, Noel's licking his chops here, 321 yards. Does have the honors on the tee box. Checking his wind here off the right-hand side, about 3 miles an hour. I think Mike's line's probably over these bunkers in the foreground and letting it draw back. Right. Needs to get up and over. Oh, no. Check the ball. All right, Paul Zyke on the box. Had some refreshments from the pro shop here at Bandon Dunes. Paul not happy with that. It's going to end up in a similar situation to Mr. Noel. All right, we're going to move over here to Bay 2 and check in on Mr. Doug Nicholson and James Konsky. All right, looks like Doug just of a miss of that birdie circle, but Mr. Konsky's here, second shot, 74 yards away. Mr. Nicholson keeping that 1-up lead through the front 9 here at Bandon. Konsky's just waiting for his time to draft in. Let's see if this time is now. Does it? He's giving it the old stare down. Likes the flight, likes the distance. Asking for it to back up, and it did. And that is a gimme circle. Well done for Mr. Konsky. Again, the time is now. He decides to pull out that birdie and make this match all square through 10 holes. All right, going to move over to Bay 1, Mr. Noel. High towering shot, headed left. Right. It's got some looking to do, but just in that first cut of rough. Next up is Mr. Zyke for his third. 103 yards. Right, Paul settling in. Always going to have a couple test clicks. All right, nice looking shot here. Left of the pin. So, yes, keep going. And makes it in the gimme circle. Well done for Mr. Paul Zyke. Well done, sir. Yeah, it's a little bow. A pinch of the cap. Professional here. All right, Mike's third shot. See if he can answer. All right, 28 yards here for Mike off the left-hand side of this green. Says he pulls the wedge, though. See if it's going to have enough spin and stop. Okay, enters, but then exits the gimme circle. Valiant effort there. Mr. Zyke does grab that one back with a par, bringing this match to 3 up for Mr. Noel through 10 holes. Okay, we're going to go check in on Mr. Nicholson and see where he's at here on his second shot. Hole 11, 200 yards out. Got that trusty fairway metal. Ooh, lots of right cheek involved with that swing. Dodges one bunker. Heading towards the next, but it's going to be perfect. It's going to have a clean fairway lie. Test out some of those wedges there. Okay. Lots of rumblings happening over here in the Bay Group 1, but seems like everything's all right. Mr. Konsky's looking at 146 yards. Again, this is where we want to kind of take a look at is underneath the yardage. You will see a percentage of power, and to the right of that, you'll see the percentage of spin. In simple math terms, if you had a 100-yard shot and you had 75 to 84% power, the likelihood of that ball actually traveling 100 yards is slim because it will travel 75 to 84 yards. Spin's also something, too, if you see something that kind of knuckles or doesn't fly as high, that is the representation of that terrain. All right, Mr. Konsky. Oh, okay, headed towards the right side of the green. Reaches the front. Maybe that little power dilemma there is just taking off some of that distance. But again, on the surface, and Doug, Wedge Master Supreme, taking a look. 38 yards, slightly uphill, clean lie. So you can see that secondary screen there. He is just aiming right before the gimme circle. Anticipating maybe a little bit of release. Doug Nicholson, Dr. Doug, Wedge Doctor. That's what we're going to call him. See if he can pull this one off. Looks really nice. Oh, okay. Maybe the adrenaline there gave him a little bit of too much of a power effort there, but it was a great shot nonetheless. Mr. Konsky does card that par, bringing him 1 up in this match through 11 holes. Quite the Mongolian reversal. Shout out Jeff Birch. All right, we're going to head over here to Bay 1 and check on Mr. Noel. All right, Mike Noel. Second shot. Just looks like it's giving him a little trouble on the left side, but just off. Okay, he's going to have a wedge. All right, so Paul Zyk's third shot from 40 yards. Similar position that Doug was in, just kind of up and over this false front. And let's see what he can do here. Again, plenty of green behind this flag, so really the no-no is to end up short. Looks like a pretty healthy swing here from Paul. Oh, and he's done it. Gimme circle for Paul Zyk. He is almost on a certified streak. Well done for Paul. Love it. He actually shook my hand this time. Didn't leave me hanging, but love that. And here we are for Mr. Noel. Third shot, 23 yards. All right, those tick marks are coming back at us. It's slightly uphill. I love this swing. Wow, brings it to just inches away from the hole, but does engage with that. Gimme circle. Both players par. A response here from Noel after a fantastic wedge from Paul. All right, we're going to go check in on our other featured group. Mr. Konsky's from 40 yards out on his second shot here at the par 3, number 12. Obviously, we have that front greenside pot bunker short. Doesn't have a ton of room behind it, but all of Oregon to his left. Okay, well judged here. Well judged. Oh, my goodness. Lands in the gimme circle and just traipses out of it. So Doug's looking at his second shot. Similar distance. Kind of a little rewind. You can see where James decided to take his. Doug's obviously closer to the green, a little further left. So playing this just a touch short to the left, as you can see, as he's elected on that secondary screen. All right, a pretty clean wedge. Is it enough? Okay, gets lucky that it didn't find the bunker, but that false front is just wreaking havoc for Doug here. It's sending him back pretty much a horseshoe around that greenside bunker, so he's going to have a similar shot here. All right, wedge, Doug, and unfortunately does have a little bit too much pressure on the hands and goes through the green. Okay, so we're going to move back to bay number 1 here for Paul's second shot. Noel is here on the green after a sweeping hook. Straight up, touch the space station, but... All right, Paul is electing for putter. Smart move here with just 7 yards to work with. Pretty subtle, but there does seem to be some movement here from pretty much back at him and maybe a touch right to left. Ooh, good hands. Is it enough? That uphill. Oh, unfortunately, Mr. Noel does go ahead and grab that, bringing it to 4 up through 12. All right, we're going to go and visit these guys over here at the 13th hole, Mr. Konsky and Doug. All right, Konsky, blistering 285 yards, sans tee, DOD, OMG. All right, Doug, trying to get back in this game. He's 2 down after a pretty commanding lead on the front 9. It's a par 5. Hard not to want to rev up against that 285 yard drive there, but I tell you what, Doug, another blister drive up the right-hand side, and just perfect. Both players showing showing their stuff here at the par 5, number 13. So all right, Doug, that trusty fairway metal here, just kind of trying to see if he can get something to give him about 100 yards. It does get a little bit of that bottom of the face involved with that, so not going to be rewarded with any real distance, so to speak. But a par 5, he's going to have plenty of golf left. Okay, Konsky's got to be looking to have a green light here, 255. With that little misstep from Doug, he's got all the power to do so. Let's see if he's going to take advantage and roll the dice. He does. He's grabbed the fairway metal. It's always fun to watch this guy hit a golf ball. Right off, 154 miles an hour ball speed, headed right, but again, there's room over there. I don't dislike the play. He's going to be in a fairway lie and less than 100 yards in, so it's a good little test there for him. This is where Doug needs to keep his cool. He needs to make sure that he's not trying to do anything that is outside of his game, truly. I guess it's going to be that same fairway metal. Try to get a smooth swing on this and just give him a look to get on. A third shot here, and currently 2 down. Doug from 220 yards. Y is slightly below his feet. This is going to want to jump right for him, so probably a little bit more fade than he's used to. Yep. Okay. Again, that's the place to miss. He's going to have pretty much pin high right there next to Konsky. Those guys are hanging out, 2 peas in a pod, so chipping contest coming up here for the Nicholson Konsky group. Okay, Konsky's looking at 46 yards right side of this green here at the par 5 13. Does have a short-sided shot here, but if he can get this elevated and land softly, should be pretty happy with the result. All right, lofted shot here. Looks really good. Absolutely perfect. That's it's again just showing how you can control these shots, expectation, and of course the TrackMan technology to give you every bit of data to prove what it should be doing, and having the result like that. See if Mr. Doug can respond here. 4th shot for Doug. No pops left in this match. 34 yards. Does put it up in the air, way up in the air. See if he's going to have the spin that he wants. Oh, it was a great wedge, just not enough to zip it back into that circle. Mr. Konsky does have that birdie, bringing his lead up to 3 through 13. Going to zip back over to Mr. Noel, who just got it inside the gimme circle. Birdie here for Noel, bogey for Mr. Paul Zeich. So that is 5 up through 13. Both players got to make sure that they keep their composure here. Noel looking at 300 yards, relatively drivable for his speed. Mike Noel. Oh, Ball speeds up, but it's going to be left. Does dodge some issues there. So, a good miss, if you would say that, but definitely playable at a hole at this distance. So 100 yards in, act like it didn't happen, and be ready to rock. All right, Paul Zyke here. See if he can keep that tempo. All right, visibly frustrated again. Just needs to make sure that it settles, and it does before that bunker. 310-yard hole, so it's nothing too crazy. He's going to have a look in here and gives him about 148 yards. We're going to zip over and see Mr. Doug and Konsky. Doug's looking for his second shot. 111 yards. Just slightly downhill. This green stretches vastly left to right. Plenty of green right of this flag. And this flag's located in the front left portion of this green. Inviting players to take it on, or if they want to make sure that they stay clear, to stay to the right. 111 here for Doug. All right, Doug's shot is off. It looks great. What a shot from Doug. Just got to note that 42 people are joining us on the live stream to watch that shot and all the others to come. Well done for Doug. Putting the pressure on his opponent here, Mr. Konsky. Konsky's got 44 yards. A blistering 290-yard tee shot for him here. See if he can convert. All right, a little dead arm wedge here. See if it's going to do it. And it just barely misses the gimme circle. Doug is alive and claws one back. Incredible shot from Doug. That's what we'd love to see. We are headed to par 3 15. And Doug has minimized the lead to just 2 up. All right. We're going to go over to number 1. Paul Zyke just put one into the gimme circle. Mike Noel for his third shot, just off 15 yards. It's kind of one of those tweeners. See what he can do here. That lie is going to promote a right to left once it does get onto the surface. And it looks like those tick marks are heading back to us, so slightly uphill. I love the wedge. I love it. Just go that uphill. Oh. Had the perfect plan. Just did not roll that extra 3 feet. So Mr. Zyke does take one back there, bringing the lead 4 up through 14. More golf, folks. We won it all. So now, first matchup between Paul Zyke and Mike Noel currently is dormy, which means that Paul will have to win the next few holes to stay alive. But again, spirits are high. Nothing like a good par 3, 167 yards for him. See what he can do. It's a great day here at the Gimme Golf Club, here virtually at Bandon Dunes. All right, so you do have both the viewing pleasure of both matchups here. Mr. Konsky's shot, just 140 yards left side of the green. And Paul, will it be enough? Okay, great line, just came up a little short. Does not get into any trouble, so he's got a look coming up here. All right, Konsky just left front side of this green, has plenty of runway here. It's just 29 yards. See if he can get a pitch. We're going to go back over to Mike Noel's tee shot here.
All the action.
High plane to the pad, and Mike Noel, swashbuckler draw here. Okay. See, even lie, just that. See if it can get a little help here. Okay, it does roll, but does find its resting spot. Pin high left of this green. Mr. Paul here is 25 yards straight up this hill. Just left of that, but we've got Doug coming over from the same bunker. Okay, Wedge Doctor's on. I'm going to stay here looking at Mr. Zyke here in your bottom left. I love it. Go! Oh. All right, not happy with that shot, but still never say die here. Noel just 18 yards off the green. Just needs a little send-off here. Looks like it's pretty well executed. Okay, does find the gimme circle for Mike Noel.
Oh, I still get the bit out. Okay.
So Paul's third here. Needs a dunk.
No, it's still over because he fought, so it doesn't matter.
You could par right here. Oh, if you tie him. All right, Paul, do it for state. All right, so we're wrapping up the match between Mike Noel and Paul Zyke. Well done from both players. Congratulations for Mr. Noel punching his ticket to the crown. The road to Pinehurst. He knows it. He's been studying up. Excellent play from both players. See what this final matchup's going to be doing with Mr. Doug. 16, 325. It's a well-hit shot from Doug. Just needs to dodge the trouble. And he does. Incredible drive from Doug. A little extra in that one. Fantastic. Letting it loose. Left with 100 yards out. Konsky's that little blue dot. Just advanced there from Mr. Nicholson. Excellent. Wedge doctor. All right, Doug, come on. Currently 3 down in this matchup. All right, Doug. Laser sharp focus here. Wedge is off. Looks good. A little bit of a fade. See if it stays. Hopefully not too much spin. Okay, it does settle in there. It's going to be on for his par. Konsky's second shot, just 63 yards away. See if what he chooses to do. Mr. John Noble in the house. Lion share champion, year 1. All right, dead arm wedge here from Konsky. Perfect line with a perfect release. Oh, almost a commentator's curse, but it does have a little extra zip there. Both players have the par, but here it is. Mr. Konsky reigns supreme, punching his ticket to the crown, the road to Pinehurst. Fantastic showing from both individuals. Really, really excited to be able to watch them play. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us. The viewers on the stream, the chat is fantastic. Keep it up. We are done with the matches today. We are going to have a 5 p.m. matchup here just shortly. We've got Mr. Adam Rocky, John Noble, and we've got some. Okay, Mr. Corbett and John Woodruff all face it off here at 5 o'clock. Stay tuned. We'll see you back here at 5.
Many enter. Only one rises. One throne. One champion. Pinehurst is the destination. It's the championship journey.
There is a house, give me gold.
Welcome to the crown.